Yo, what's going on, guys? Estee McCrawly came with another video. Today I'm coming at you with some more battle spot doubles with my Mega Metagross team. And we're going to go ahead and get right into this first battle. My opponent was rocking a team of Smeargle, Gengar, Sceptile, Infernape, Swampert, and Metagross. So he also had the Mega Metagross possibility. I mean, there he had three Mega possibilities. He had the Sceptile, the Swampert, and the Metagross, and he brought and the Gengar, excuse me, and he brought three of those. So immediately here, I see the Smeargle, and I get really scared at that. Here in VG's 2016, I had some pretty difficult battles with Smeargle, and in the doubles format, I've had a little bit of a different experience where Smeargle not necessarily holding Focus Sash or even the mental herb, but he's been choice scarfed. So immediately when I see that, I get scared. So that's why I decide to lead off with my Kinkeldurr here, or that's why I decided to bring Kinkeldurr so that in case he is scarfed, I should be able to knock him out with one Mach Punch. So this one, I found that I was just a little intimidated by all those Mega Evolution possibilities. So we're gonna go ahead and get this first one started, and I'll be with Kinkeldurr and Thundurus in case my opponent leads with a Smeargle. Then he goes Sceptile, Gengar. So immediately we have two Mega Evolution possibilities. And turn one we're going to see it is the Mega Sceptile, which is somewhat what I was predicting to see this Mega Sceptile. I don't know too much about it. And so as you see right there, I don't know that it has Lightning Rod. I think I did, I just didn't remember. So he's already at +1 special attack thanks to my stupidity. And he gets a free Dragon Pulse off onto Kinkeldurr and at +1. And with the Shadow Ball from Gengar, Kinkeldurr is going to immediately go down. So a huge misplay on my part, which is going to result in Kinkeldurr going down turn 1. And here I bring in Metagross, since I feel like it's going to have a pretty decent matchup. There is the Shadow Ball possibility, but at least Sceptile won't be able to hit me with any stabs for even neutral damage. I resist both the stabs. So I'm going to go straight for the Mega Evolution here. And I just go for the Protect, expecting a Shadow Ball and possibly another move from Sceptile. But we see he goes for the safe Dragon Pulse into Thunder, so he's just playing really smart right now. But I'm going to eat that up pretty well. It's going to pop my Citrus Berry. So I'm at about 75% health. And Gengar is going to go for a Shadow Ball into Metagross. So I got fortunate there, and my Hidden Power Ice is going to connect, and it's going to be one hit knockout onto the Sceptile. So turn 1, I did go for the Ice Punch into the Sceptile slot. So I'm just a little scared of a switch in. So, but anyways, now he sends out his Swampert. So his Gengar is going to go for Protect here, which I found interesting. Since I didn't know what he thought that I was going to get. It was a good play because I did double up into him. I went for Thunderbolt as well because there's nothing I can really hit this Swampert for. And in case his Gengar was Focus Sash, I decided I wanted to do that. So now I got Hydreigon in. I feel like I'm still in a decent position, but he goes for the Sludge Bomb, and he's going to get to pick up the Poison. And so I get the Zen Headbutt off here into the Gengar. It connects, which is going to be a knockout. Luckily, he wasn't sashed, and that's going to be another Pokemon out of the way. And fortunately, I outspeed his Swampert, so I'm going to get the Draco Meteor off since I was going to deal max damage. I just need this thing gone, so it can't Ice Punch me. And we do connect, but unfortunately we do not pick up the knockout. He barely holds on, and he gets the Ice Punch off, so that is going to be a fainted Hydreigon. And so now we got 2 versus 1, but it is Mega Metagross, and he is at full HP. So I go for the Meteor Mash into the Swampert. I know it resists, but I just wanted to get the possible +1 attack boost, because I don't know if I'd be able to one-hit KO this Smeargle. And we're going to see the Dark Void. I was thinking about going for a substitute there, predicting the Dark Void, but I was like, well, the Smeargle is probably not going to have any offensive moves. So if I just knock out the Swampert, it should be game. But he doesn't surrender here. So, and we see he has Transform. I'm like, oh, absolutely fantastic. fantastic. And he goes for substitute straight off the bat, which is a good move. But fortunately, I do get the wake up, and I also go for substitute. So now we're both behind substitutes right now. And I have, so there's Protect, Substitute, Meteor Mash, and Zen Headbutt. So I decided that the best move to go for is Meteor Mash, so I can get the +1 attack boost. And so here I outspeed. It's a speed tie, just so you guys know, so it's pretty much just all going to be based on luck. So I don't break the substitute with that first Meteor Mash. He also goes for Meteor Mash. I don't even think there's the possibility of flinch if you're behind a sub. So Zen Headbutt would be pointless here if I'm trying to fish for the flinch at least. So here he outspeeds me. He won the speed tie. He gets his Meteor Mash off. And here I'm expecting it to break the sub. So it does break it, and he gets the attack boost. So I say, oh, this is fantastic. I hope I can match his attack boost with an attack boost from my Meteor Mash. So I also break the substitute, no surprise. I mean, the damage calcs are going to be exactly the same. We essentially have the same Pokemon out on the field. But I don't get the attack boost, so he gets a Meteor Mash out. I don't bother going for substitute since it's just a waste. So you see, even if I did go for substitute, I would have broken it anyways. And here I get my Meteor Mash off. And you're going to be able to see the difference in damage. He took me below 50%, and he's still above 50%. So I get the attack boost here, and here's where my opponent makes the mistake. He goes for substitute, and so that's pretty much free damage for me. Luckily, I connect, but even if I missed, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, the sub was, or if I missed while he was behind sub, it wouldn't have mattered. I still would have missed the attack. So I think even it didn't matter if I outsped here. He would have needed a crit to win, since he wouldn't have been able to knock me out with one more hit. So when he went for that sub, that was a misplay on his part. He should have just kept on going. But because he made that sub, he took extra damage that I didn't take. And then I was at +1, and then I outsped him as well. So if he didn't go for substitute that one turn and he attacked me, then I would have had a little bit less HP than him, so it would have come down to the speed tie that last turn, which I got anyways. So he made the mistake with the substitute, but it wouldn't have made a difference since I won that last speed tie, which meant that I would have won the game anyways. So really close game. Had to stall up my own Metagross. Luckily, I was able to get the attack boost to match the one that he got. But pretty solid team. I learned about Mega Sceptile right there. No Thunder type moves against Mega Sceptile, or even if there's a possibility of it Mega evolving. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next battle, which consisted of another interesting team. Lantern, Manectric, Electros, Raichu, Breaksin, and Aegislash. So he opted not for Breaksin and Aegislash. I'm not exactly sure why he had them. As you can see, the 4 Pokemon he brought were all electric type. So I saw that and I was like, I don't know what this guy's going to want to do with his team, but there are definitely some Pokemon that I absolutely need. Landorus will work wonders in this. Hydreigon has Earth Power. So there's some important Pokemon to bring. Those are the ones I need to keep alive so I can do well in this battle. So we're going to go ahead and get the second one started now. I lead with Hydreigon and Landorus. Just that hyper offensive damage lead. And we see he has Lantern and Raichu, which kind of scares me a little bit. Since Lantern, I think it gets access to Ice Beam, but even if it doesn't, it still can send a Scald my way towards Landorus. So we're going to see Raichu does have the Air Balloon, so I can't hit it. So what I did here is I went for Earth Power on Raichu. I saw that it had Air Balloon, but I went for U-Turn into the Raichu slot. I forgot it had Fake Out, even though it was used a lot in VD 2016. So there's my U-Turn right there that I went for. So I'm going to pop its Air Balloon, and I'm going to get the heck out of there. I was scared of a Water type move coming my way, but he went for Agility turn 1, which I found interesting. Metagross comes in here, and we see his Raichu goes for Volt Switch. So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And he gets the crit. If I got a crit, I would have knocked him out. But he's going to go for a good switch into Electros, because I won't be able to hit it with ground type moves. So, and he has Soak, and I was like, what the heck does Soak do? Luckily, it says right there, Metagross transformed into the Water type. So It's interesting because now I'm like, oh, so that's why he's got this electric team, because now he's going to be able to go for electric type moves into my Metagross and hit it for super effective damage. I found this Raichu switch was kind of interesting to me. I'm like, why did, like, I'm not sure why you just switched that back in, since you just switched it back out. So, and I protect with Metagross here because I don't want to get hit with an electric type move to take super effective damage. And this is where the Raichu switch makes sense. Discharge. Raichu has Lightning Rod, so it's going to gain 1 stage in special attack. And it's going to connect with my Hydreigon, and it's going to paralyze me. So if I remember, once I saw that, I was like, if I remember correctly, I did this once. It was a long time ago, like on Pokemon Emerald, just for fun. But if I remember correctly, Lantern has Volt Absorb, so if Raichu uses Discharge, Lantern's just gonna restore health. So this next turn, I switched back into my Landorus because I was expecting the Electric type move. Actually, I was expecting Electric type moves, but he just goes for Soak onto Hydreigon this time around. And I go for Draco Meteor. After I see this thing has Soak, I'm like, okay, this thing's like the core of his offense, trying to make all my Pokemon water type, so I need to get rid of it. And I'm like, holy crap. That did absolutely nothing. Like I said, Assault Vest was like, no, it's got Soak. So I was like, oh man, that's got some mean defenses right there. So I get out of there with Hydreigon and taking Keldor. I mean, if I just keep on switching up my Pokemon, he's not going to be able to hit me for super effective damage. And I go for the Earthquake here. I'm like, well, Lantern's probably going to be on the specially defensive side. So probably was, because I pick up a double knockout here, even though Earthquake was Stab this time around and a little bit more powerful. Well, less powerful, but Stab. So whereas his last 2 Pokemon are Manectric and the Electros that we saw earlier. So I was like, okay, so he brought all of his Electric type Pokemon. The Electros is a problem since I can't hit it with ground type moves, but the Manectric I can easily take out, and the Electros can't really take my team on 1v4. So he's going to evolve into Mega Manectric, and he's going to get the Intimidate off, which is good since these are 2 physical attackers. I just go for another Earthquake since I know Keldor can eat it up pretty well. I do pick up the knockout on the Manectric. It was a crit. I think the crit mattered because I was at -1. And we're going to see the Giga Drain come out. So like, okay, well, this thing's got some decent recovery then. But I do get the knockoff. I just wanted to knock off the item. I didn't know what it was. I just didn't want him to stall me out. So we see it's Assault Vest, so probably a little bit on the bulkier side. But I switch up my Landorus and the Hydreigon here since it just lost its Assault Vest. And Hydreigon's not going to be doing much. So he's going to go for a Giga Drain. I'm going to resist, so it's going to do little damage. And with Keldor, I just go for the safe Drain Punch. It's my most powerful move. I'm going to restore some health. And we see it does about 50% of what he had left. So that's going to, here he goes for the Discharge. That's his most powerful move because it's Stab. And he gets a Paralysis on the Keldor, which isn't too big. I mean, the Paralysis isn't going to be too big of a deal here. He need to get like Paralysis 10 turns in a row or something. So I just go for the Draco Meteor here to finish it off. If it lands, it's over. There's no way he can take this without the Assault Vest. So we pick up the knockout on Electros. We finish it off a Queen 4-0. But even though it was a 4-0, it was still an interesting team. A lot of my Pokemon were weak. I mean, Hydreigon and Keldor were paralyzed. They were both below 50% health. So I don't even Mega Metagross like hit the field and left. He didn't really have to come back because he didn't bring the Aegis Slasher breaks in. But I think the Soak, like that Soak Electric combination was pretty good. I just think he like did it too late. I mean, he set up with the agility, which is good, but he didn't capitalize. Like by the time I figured out what he was doing, I was just able to switch out. I brought some bulky Pokemon. Hydreigon resists Electric type moves. Landorus is immune. Keldor's Assault Vest. So yeah, it was a good idea. I really liked it, but it kind of took him a little too long to get it done. I would have liked to see Mega Manectric a little bit earlier as well, the Intimidate, because 3 of my 4 were physical attackers. I know he had a Mega Evolve and everything, and with Raichu, it was good because he could Fake Out, but I don't know what he could. I don't know if it's even possible for him to like make that a little bit better. But I feel like if he was able to do that, he would have had a better edge, a better chance of winning. Because obviously my Earth type moves or my Ground type moves wouldn't have done as much damage. But still an interesting team, something maybe I'd like to look into in the future. I thought it was pretty cool. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Some interesting battles. The first one was definitely interesting. Barely won on like an error by my opponent, and also just by the speed tie. And this one with that interesting team. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.